Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Chel. It is Friday, October 10th. A lot of stuff to go over today. Yesterday was a painful one as the Dreisaitl moments dropped to obtain the spotlightly on Dreisaitl. And if you were watching my subathon or my stream, it took me about 6 hours to complete them. The only reason I actually did complete the three one-timer goals was simply because I knew you guys would ask for a video on how it was done. So I just battled it out. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're also going to discuss Spotlight ending and what I did, as well as the new line combo that dropped. Man, I gotta say, again, I think line combos are in a bad spot in terms of the amount of them, but there is no denying that when a new line combo drops, just how much impact it has on like the entire player base and all of the cards and building a team. And we'll get into that in a little bit as well. The marquee event is ending. The face-off event, I don't know if it's going to be the only event. It's running until not this Friday, but next Friday or 2 Fridays from now. It's actually like instead of being a 14-day event, it's like a 17-day event. It just came out early, so I'm not sure if there's going to be an additional event or if what we got on Tuesday was the Friday one. It just came out early, so we will wait and see on that because it will be interesting to see. Tage Thompson and what to do about him because he is one of the best cards in the game. And we'll start with the Sharks lost to Vegas. Yes, I watched. Yes, I endured. Yes, it was horribly embarrassing. The end result was good. Again, I think that this year the Sharks need to lose. I want to see games where they are competitive, but they don't win all the time. I'm completely okay with that. I want to see them win sometimes, and I don't want to see them to lose in the way that they did. Nedeljkovic played great up until the final 30 seconds. And if Eklund just buries the two open net goals chances that he has, we're not discussing this today. I thought that Celebrini looked unbelievable defensively, and him and Will Smith has some real life like chemistry. They've got some real shiftiness that is going to be really fun to watch for the rest of the next decade, essentially. But yeah, again, if you would have told me that they would have lost in overtime to Vegas and it was close, I would have loved it. I do not love the fact that this is going to be remembered as like the Nedeljkovic game. And when the Sharks win the cup in like 5 to 7 years or get a chance at it and they're good again, the Sharks fans are gonna look back on this as one of the most embarrassing moments of that whole horrible run. So let's get into the so in depth here. So Draisaitl moments. I said this in my video. Get to the three one timers, and then I don't care on your skill level. Give it like a couple attempts until you're like, this is not fun and not enjoyable, and you're not even getting close. Then move on. Either if you really want Draisaitl, make him with collectibles, or wait. I am very confident that they will adjust it because they ended up adjusting the fantasy moments very quickly. I don't see why they wouldn't with a free popular card in Leon Draisaitl. So I would anticipate that they make some changes, whether it's just a 20-minute period, like just full on, here's 20 minutes. That would fix it if they can't fix the difficulty issue. Again, I want to reiterate the pro difficulty and all of that being broken is not on the content teams. Is not on the content team. That's not an issue of theirs. It is the mode team to get that resolved, and it simply hasn't been for a few years now. And it is on them though to be like, hey, okay, we can't use this difficulty, or we can't make it like three one timers. Here's one. Like it just they need to avoid this. This is shooting themselves in the foot and causing a pain point for a lot of players that it just shouldn't be. The card should not be just free to get, like where you cakewalk, because I do like there is a challenge to it. It's just have it play on Superstar like Superstar plays in Cup Chase. You know, the ragdolling's not there, and that really fixes a lot of the issues. Also, knock off if it's one line, knock it off with the energy being drained. I think that's a tech issue as well, but there's no reason why we only have one line, we're playing with the same line, why our energy gets drained. That just makes it more difficult for no reason at all because we can't like change lines. So the card itself, I am going to try it with McDavid and McKinnon, but I just reworked my entire team and he doesn't fit at all. He can't play on the wing. He's got to be a centerman because he's so slow. And he felt very sluggish in the moments. I think that there's a small section of the player base that can use him correctly, and that would be never breaking the puck out with him, and then in the offensive zone, because he does have a good shot, to make sure there's no gap between the defender and him. So when someone's on his back and he's just holding everyone off, that could be a good spot, but he's just not a worthwhile card for the time input. You should still try and get him because I think that he could be incredible with a +2 kind of thing, right? So I do think that you should get him, but I would hope for a fix. Spotlight ending. So I got sidetracked this week with just a lot of content. I didn't make my video on my ranking of who I made for the Spotlight event, and I apologize for that. Here's the issue with the Spotlight event. I think Lane Hudson is the worst of the cards. I actually do. I think that Landeskog is second worst. Like he's only because of the +2 bonus that he can get. So I think that he's all right, but he is still very slow. He's Leon Draisaitl, right? That being said, I think the best option is Scheifele or Jones. And when I went to go make mine, because it is mandatory, my No Money Spent series, to make a Master Set player item from every event, I thought long and hard. I'm like, okay, if you don't like a player from the event, do what I did in the Marquee event, which changed completely. But I made Jack Hughes because if he got a +2, great card. Great card. If you do a +2 overall, that is just like the way that I'm handling it. Like I think that if a card gets a +2, that should be the tiebreaker on who you should make. That's probably the way you should go. Scheifele and Jones are the best of them. Even if Lane Hudson gets a +2, I just don't see how he would be any better than a lot of the other options that are far cheaper. So, what I did was I hummed and hawed, and I was like, man, I think I can make Scheifele here. None of them would make my team. I, again, have a team that's the best that you can pretty much get. So I just went with Hudson because I think he's going to get the +1. That's it. I think that if I can get an 86 as opposed to an 85, forget about the name in the card and all that. I'd rather have the 86 for future trade-ins. So I went with Hudson. But if I did not have a unbelievable team, it would have been Jones or Scheifele for sure. The line combo. So again, line combos are kind of polarizing in the sense that they're forcing us to make the same teams. They are. And inherently in a year where chemistry should allow us to make a team that we want, that allows us to give us boosts. And what it ended up doing was, for online competitive players, it is essentially like, okay, here are like the 5 good line combos. Here are the cards that go into them. And then they just upgrade at the margins. So like when Naslin was the OP card, Pettersson came out. Pettersson's slightly better than Naslin, right? So then he moves up one. At launch of the game, it was like, okay, you could use Nazar's Fresh Ice card, but then you could upgrade to Terravine, and like you're upgrading at the margins, right? The line combo came out for the marquee set, and it was +8 million for 3 marquee cards. 8 million is a ton. And then they also gave +6 million for a defensive pair or a goaltending tandem. Completely changed everything. Wait until you guys see my No Money Spent team. I went crazy in terms of the additions and subtractions. And all it took was 1 line combo. Well, I guess 2. It took 2 line combos and my entire team changes. And I love that aspect. I think that makes the game so much more fresh and exciting when new stuff comes out. I still think at the end of the day, however, I want to make this clear, I'm not a big fan of the salary cap. I never have been. I think that it was a mistake. And I think that as we go along, there will be pressure points where until we get stuff like this, where there's a massive salary cap relief, it's just going to be an annoyance. It reminds me of contracts and injuries. And in a couple of years, they're going to be like, we heard the feedback from the community. The salary cap is gone. That's, timestamp this video in 4 years from now. That's what my guess. Line combos, however, I think are great. And I actually, I don't mind the forced ones if there was double the amount. But then you run in the risk of a new line combo doesn't really mean much because there's so many. And I think that's what they're wrestling with. It is still so slow. It is a slow drip that needs to increase. They need to put more out. I'm not saying that what we have is good, but I don't know how you are a hardcore player, not even a hardcore player, just like someone who takes team building into account, and you sat down yesterday and you saw the 2 new line combos, and you didn't go through your collection, you didn't go through YouTube videos, you didn't go through Twitch, you didn't go through Reddit, you didn't go through just the own collection and seeing on your own and theory crafting what your lineup could be, because I think that that's a good thing. Like I think that's fresh. We haven't had that in a decade of HUT, so. There is good parts about the line combos, but I do hope that they address some. They just double it, at least. They just double it. So, I ended up making my 4th line, guys. Kirill Marchenko, Pajot, Master Set Jack Hughes. My 4th line. Yeah, team changed a lot. And there's like 4 other variants that you could do. That was just the one I went with. All right, next up, making Tage Thompson. So today was a big day where I got done all the offline stuff. I spent 8 hours doing those moments yesterday. Burnt out from offline. Time to play online, but I wanted to recreate my team because of those new line combos. So Tage Thompson was one of the first ones. Byfield is another, but Tage Thompson, you only have a week to make. I looked on the auction house. He's going for 300,000 coins. There is a price point. This is something, again, not a market genius, but this is just something I'm learning as I go along this year. If a card is within about 10 to 20,000 of what you could make him for untradeable, go the tradable route. So, for example, you could make Pedersen for 60,000 coins when Pedersen came out. I bought him when he first came out for 100K, right? So there was still a big gap, but I was like, you know what? That's okay. And it ended up working out. Cards like Marner or Slavkovsky, they were going for roughly the same price as what they, what you could make them for. So that's kind of how I decided. Tage Thompson, you can make right now. It is quite expensive. It's about 12,500 to make an 80 to buy an 80. It ended up costing me like 120,000 coins in value. Okay, to make the 83s required. I did all the chores, so I got the 83 choice back, so I need to get 4. And then what I did was I wanted to keep my coin stack I have 500K, right? And I was like, I'm going to do all of these adjustments. I'm going to make all these cards, and I'm going to keep the same amount of money, maybe make money. So I went and looked at my entire collection, and I've been preaching, keep all the Team of the Week cards for your objectives. Team of the Week 82 overalls have cratered in price. They basically dropped all the way down to what 82 overalls are in general. Okay, what they are in general. So at that price point, I know that even if I wait and I sell all my cards or trade them in the 82s, there's some that you don't want to. Marco Rossi you don't do. Savoy goes for 20, 30K. There's a few, right? You got to check. But, like Brandon Carlo, for example, I just traded in a bunch of them to make into the 82s that I had into the 81, 82 set for Team of the Week. I know it's not good value because you could just use 81s, but I did it anyways. And I was able to make Tage Thompson, and I kept a lot of the good Team of the Week items. And the reason, again, is now that we have 82s, what we can do is when the next Team of the Week objectives come out, you can buy a bunch or rent them and then sell them back if you want, or just keep a lineup, which I'm going to do. Keep a lineup. Again, this first month, I was really anticipating that we get a star of the month, but we didn't. And that changed a lot of things. So that's, again, buyer beware. And but now I'm just adjusting for it. Speaking of star of the month, another reason why you want to make Tage Thompson, he will eventually go into his star of the month. That's going to be big. But what I would point out in a bar down video, a viewer of mine, G-Man, he posted in my chat that in a bar down video at launch of the game, with Celebrini and I believe Jesse from Bar Down, they actually show Hut, and there's a Star of the Month banner in it. It's probably from the beta, and it shows Tage Thompson on the banner. So my thinking is that Tage Thompson was probably supposed to be the Star of the Month for the first month, but they decided to pivot and just make him a Team of the Week and do Star of the Month at the end of the regular season months. That's what I'm guessing. So I can, with 90% certainty, say that they are going to give a Star of the Month, but it looks like it's only for the regular season, just like it did last year. So Tage Thompson, if you make him untradeable, understand you're saving about 160,000 coins in terms of buying him tradable. He is one of the best cards in the game. I can guarantee you that. And at the end of the month, when Star of the Month comes out, you can trade him in. So, no risk. I wanted to point that out. Like, I know I'm getting a ton of questions. Should I make Tage Thompson? Yes. So, that is going to do it for kind of the rundown. Let's get into yesterday's comments, and we'll go over them. Here we go. So, Slaves, I made the worst decision by buying points for the store. I'm usually no money spent, but I gave in this year. They charged my card, but the points never went into my account. Any advice on contact info to resolve this? You need to Google EA Help. EA Help is where you want to go. They'll get that resolved. And, yeah. Maze Joel says, this was the most liked comment, I believe. Loving the content. Keep the great work. So, quick question. Since this was the most expensive fantasy hockey ever, do we think you get Team of the Year? What do you think Team of the Year will be like? $2 million in value to make one, or what is your guess? These events usually run with the same economic structure. So fantasy team of the season, team of the year, they operate under the assumption the cards will hit 99. That is why they're so expensive up front. You are paying for the 99 up front, right? Because like a 99 in April is going to go for about million and a half, right? That's what they're going for now if you were to make them. I think that there was enough publicity about this event that they will make adjustments for team of the year and figure out where they went wrong in their economic calculation for making them. So I would anticipate it to be a much better value for making a team of the year item. I also want to point out, guys, team of the year is not what it was before. They go out of their way to not upgrade the cards. You get stuck with 7 cards in your lineup, and unless they come with like salary cap stuff or whatnot, like it's very boring. It's a great event. It's just boring how we utilize it. The hardcore player base will save everything for team of the year, get 5 team of the year items, and then they complain on Reddit every single Wednesday and Tuesday when the card doesn't get updated. Right? They just go out of their way to not make sure that it's upgraded all the time. So I'll make 1 or 2, maybe, depending on the price point, but I'm not like, I got to save every team of the year. It's just not an event like that anymore that should be operated like that. Small rant on one-timer moments. That wouldn't be so annoying if the player you need one-timer goals was actually moved and tried to get open. Yeah, the Ice Cube system did not highlight Draisaitl very well in this one. What do they say in the trailer? Players will now play more like they do in real life. What happened to that? Also, the pro sliders. Are they going to fix that? They fixed it in 24. They did. Why haven't they done it and they fixed it in 2 years? Rant over. Again, it's a mode issue, not a content team issue. So they have to pull a developer to figure out what's going on there. I remember speaking to a developer that's no longer with the company, or he's in a different game, I believe. And I remember us complaining about it constantly and him reiterating that they went and looked, it was fine. And then there was one time after, I don't remember what it was. He came back and he said, yeah, there was a duplicate slider that was on. And like that, it just like, I've played the game. We've all played the game enough to know it's just the ragdolling. Like if you get rid of that ragdoll, then the moment isn't so obnoxious. But I have a couple clips from my attempt with Draisaitl until I got it done, where Makar is just mauling Ekholm. Like just, it's hilarious. Looks like he got shot with a gun. It's nuts, man. So I hope they address that. Ace Slaves, thanks for all the help this year. My team wouldn't be as good without you. So what do I do with my coins I get from selling players in cup chase runs? Do I buy players in the market to go straight on my team, or do I just buy 79s for sets? So, good question. What I do with my coins is, because we are at the mercy of EA and releasing line combos, I like to have a ton of coins. Well, number one, I'm saving for a fantasy card. That's it. I'm probably saving for a fantasy card. I also didn't address this in the intro. Man, fantasy cards were hot last night. There's like 7 that scored. So I love fantasy. This is the reason why it's so good. I hated how this fantasy event ran because I only ended up with 2. And a lot of people only ended up with 2. And it stinks because the absolute mega rich and hut are all just filthy, stinking rich now, because all of them were bought up by the people that have millions of coins. And there, you can go in the auction house and you can see Taylor Hall scored 2.5 million if you want him. Like, it's unfortunate. It stinks, but that's what you get for saving all your coins and being good at the market. These are the things you get to take advantage of. So, when it comes to what you do with your coins, it's for when line combos change. So yesterday, when the salary cap thing dropped, I went and figured out what line combo I really wanted, and then I overpaid for some, but it allowed me the flexibility to go and get whoever I wanted. Like, for example, I went and bought the Josh Morrissey Master Set player item for 100,000 coins. Thought it was a good price point. It allows me to utilize a good card and get the big bonus. That's what I'm doing. On top of that, like, whenever a card that you love for a team that you watch comes out, it'll allow you to get him. It just allows you flexibility. That's all. Like, there'll be times where you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I personally am not good with the market. I've stated this a number of times. I'm trying to learn. So when I can't say what to invest in, and I don't really want to do that because EA has the tendency in the last 2 years to rug pull and be like, this isn't working like how it was intended or how it worked in the past at all. So you aren't getting anything that you thought. So just keep collecting coins, man. If you don't have McDavid, save up for base McDavid. I wouldn't go over 300K. Hey, Sleeves, watch your content daily. Hope you're doing well. This is a non-related question, but have you ever thought about having a non-video version of the content, like a podcast, meaning off of YouTube, maybe on Spotify or something? It would be highly enjoyable and easier to listen to when working and whatnot. Have a good one, man. Get some rest after your subathon. Thank you, my dude. I appreciate that. Talked about this a little bit. The reason why I don't upload to Spotify um, is simply because on YouTube I get ad revenue. Or if you have premium, if you have YouTube Premium, it's on. I use YouTube Premium. Again, if you spend a couple hours a day on YouTube, I would say it's probably worth it, right? Gauge how much. I'm not saying that you should go out and get YouTube Premium, but it has a nasty little feature where it'll allow you to play a video and you can actually close your phone. You don't have to play the video, so you just have the audio. Um, but it's really just because it's very simple for me. I don't want to have to take the extra steps to actually upload it to RSS and push it, and all of that takes longer time. And yeah, there's no way. I don't have a sponsor or anything for the show, so I don't. It's just simply a monetizing thing. It's getting me more subscribers as well, which is my main focus. I'm really trying to get 100,000 before my 10th year, which I only have till January 1st, 2027. So I'm running out of time to get 27,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subbed, please do. That is going to do it for today's video, guys. Tomorrow will be Saturday. I am going to try out Battlefield tonight. So again, if you get off work, I'll have the content video come out, but I am going to hop on some Battlefield. My subathon is still going until around this time tomorrow, unless it extends as well. But for sure, come check it out. I'm excited. And if you are absolutely at your wit's end with NHL, take a look at Battlefield, man. It was a really good game. I did a massive stream of it for the beta, and I played 24 straight hours, and I loved it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.